So while I'm sitting here waiting for my second set of hands to show up, I figured I could make a different video just for content, right? And obviously it's going to be on the engine compartment of the car here and a couple different things, if I remember them while I'm doing it. So obviously we didn't repaint the inside of the engine compartment when we did the paint job because it was just too much work and I wasn't going to do that. So I wanted to focus on my engine mounts, specifically my missing driver's side mount, which I cut out of there with a grinder years ago to clear the swinging pickup external stuff on the engine. This stuff, because it hits. I didn't really like doing that, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do when you need better oil. But I want to focus on my motor mount setup for the elephant ears here. As you can see, these guys, I actually am kind of proud of these. I mean, I wish the welds were a little better. We actually did that with a small stick and an arc welder. But I've mentioned these in videos before. I never really liked how I saw some people doing the elephant ear stuff. These are asymmetrical, obviously. They're not the same on each side. I've kind of built them custom per side. But I've seen a lot of hack jobs, kind of, in my opinion, with these. Now, if you got a piece of angle iron bolted to your frame rail or welded to your frame rail, I'm not specifically hammering on you, but I just don't think that's the nicest way to do it or the most attractive. I just think you can do a better job. And this is what I came up with. So what I did was mount an engine in here, a block and a transmission. It still had a motor mount at that point. And I put the elephant ears on, or maybe I made a fake elephant ear out of cardboard to get an idea of where to start cutting my elephant ears. And I trimmed them to fit on top of the frame rails with this notch here. Both sides have that for even more protection on if there was a failure, that this would land right on the frame. It's within probably under a quarter inch off the plate that goes right to the frame. As you can see, when I put the engine in, a lot of times it'll bump off the bottom. Obviously, they get scraped up and stuff in and out. But this system gives you room for 3 bolts per side. And it's super stout, I would imagine. I'm not sure if that's 1/8 inch plate or whatever that is. But I made those out of cardboard pieces too. I mocked them up out of cardboard and taped them together. Figured out what orientation I made, labeled them all, had a machine shop cut them out. And the guy was really good. I think he actually blowtorched them out, which they look like it's done on a friggin' laser. Or he might have plasma cuttered them out, I don't know, but they came out pretty good. So then I assembled those, welded them in, mocked everything back, you just kind of keep chewing away at the fitment process. It takes a while, and I don't even really remember doing this, but I remember what the process must have been because I did it and I know how I think. And then I most likely marked where I wanted the holes on the elephant ears and probably drilled them or center punched them as they sat. And I don't know. Honestly, I can't exactly tell you. Or I might have fit it all, marked it all, and then drill pressed them together to make it all match. I'm not sure. But obviously they're super stable. Like fore and aft movement is going to be limited by the wedge blocks. Or the gussets. Those are actually called gussets, I would technically. I mean, they're probably a hair thicker than the stock factory mount. But geometrically, they're not as complex, so they're, you know. But I've had no issues with this or the elephant ear mounted style. It would work the same for a front motor plate. The elephant ears are just individual. But as I stated before, they don't really have a lot of fore and aft strength. That's why I keep this motor mount in operation. And that motor mount's welded solid. stock piece. I just welded it. Who cares about the rubber if it gets burnt a little bit? But that helps keep the motor from any forward and aft movement and just strengthens the whole system up. My dad's finally here. All right, take it easy, guys. That's all you really need to know about that anyway. I've been babbling on. Have a good time. Work on your stuff.